I'm Brad Coons, and my wife's putting the boys to bed.
Yeah, it's Prezi. Perfect. Yeah. I know we taking a dub, cause I've been dying to win. We champions, we champions. Eyes on the prize, cause I know that it is mine to win. We champions, we champions.
All right, guys, it is Scripture Sunday, and we have a really awesome Sunday planned. Today we're going to kind of catch up a little bit because I don't know if you realize what happened Friday. We were going to have football Friday this week, and Friday morning, the NCAA dropped a new rule that is kind of up for interpretation right now, and we're waiting to see if we're going to be able to interview college coaches any further at this point. So we're waiting on that, and so tonight we're going to cover a couple things that we were going to cover on Friday night. We're going to talk about the winner of the trivia contest with the new trivia question out there. We're going to put our next matchup for the Ultimate Tournament of Storytime, and we'll have our Scripture Sunday today. And then after this, hopefully we'll be able to release the previous loser in the bracket, which is me being Bald Guy of the Year. So I'm excited today because on Scripture Sunday, we have Joseph Jones, linebacker for the Denver Broncos. All right, he was a former athlete of mine in both football and track at Plano, and I'll kind of let him tell you a little bit about that. But here is the man, Joseph Jones.
Hey guys, my name is Joe Jones. I have the pleasure of being, friends and former athlete, Coach Coons. He came to Plano and helped coach football while I was still there, track coach as well, and then I actually got the privilege of being able to coach alongside him for a year when I came to help out with track, so that was a blast. But great friend of mine. Love him, love his family. I actually have the pleasure of still being able to play football right now. I currently play for the Denver Broncos, play linebacker, number 43.
So if you heard me in my testimony last week, I was able to continue the Fellowship of Christian Athletes at Plano when I was there. And Joe was one of my first leaders in my first year. He was a junior, got to be with him for 2 years, see him mature as a Christian and as an athlete. And I know that he'll tell you that, in a school setting, there's only so much you can do. But as a teacher and coach, when you have the opportunity to have a FCA or something like that, you're looking at planting seeds. You're looking at, starting the process for people to kind of become themselves. And, I know Joe has had tons of people around him with strong faith, from his parents and his family to his pastor when he grew up, and he was a drummer in the worship band. But it's just great to see the man he's become. And, for me, got this for my kid for Christmas, for one of my boys. They both share it, but they want to put on their Joe jersey all the time. He's just a great role model and a great guy to have. So we're excited to have him, and totally looking forward to his scripture lesson tonight.
This verse that I want to share with you guys today is Matthew 25, verses 35 through 40. It has a special place in my heart. It is a verse that I do my best, though not perfect, as all Christians are not perfect, do my best to embody and live out. I've always, my heart's always been in this place even before I discovered the verse. And I've also, after discovering this one, found a whole bunch more that kind of go into this, that back it up, that it's not just a one-time thing that Jesus decided to teach, but something that has been taught before Jesus came to earth, after Jesus left earth, obviously while Jesus was on the earth. And so this is a very, very special, important verse for me. So again, Matthew 25, verses 35 through 40, it says, Jesus speaks and is saying, "For I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me." Then the righteous will answer him, "Lord, When did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you? The king will reply, truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. And it just, obviously Jesus is not talking literally to him. Like no one, like they said, like when did we ever feed you? Like Jesus, you fed us, you fed a bunch of other people. When did we literally feed you? When did we clothe you? When did we visit you? And he's saying like, when you take care of the people in your community, when you take care of those who are in less fortunate situations, regardless of how they got in that situation, obviously someone in prison, not always, but a majority of the time they did something to deserve to get themselves in that situation, right? So regardless of what situation you put yourself in, or just happenstance ended up in that situation, something out of your control, the Lord has taught us and is calling us to love and care for those people. You see a homeless person on the side of the road. Obviously use your discretion. I'm not telling you just to hand the person $50, $100 bill, whatever, but you have food in your car. You leave, you decide, on a regular basis on my daily drive to work or school, wherever I go, I see X, Y, and Z homeless people on there almost every time I drive, right? Put some food in the back of your car, and next time you drive past them, hand them some food. If you have some change or some cash, maybe, you decide that God has put on your heart to give them some money to maybe put them back on their feet. I don't know, whatever it is that the Lord has put on your heart. But he has called us to take care of the less fortunate, the people who are sick, the people who are hungry, the people who are thirsty, who don't have clothes, the people who are homeless. I guess for me, I've always, again, don't know necessarily where it came from, don't necessarily why, but I've always had a heart for people who are in less fortunate situations than I am. Again, regardless of how they got there. Obviously, some people may know some people personally on that level. You may be mad as to what they did. And obviously, again, using discretion and wisdom given from the Lord, but still you're called to take care of those people. You're called to help those people out. Obviously not to enable them, not to put them in a situation where they can continue to do what they're doing or make any more bad decisions, whatever it may be, but to love them and to care for them as the Lord has called us to do. And he's continued to love and care for us as we live on this earth.
Joe, well, thank you so much for sharing that message. That is a verse that hits home quite often. And one thing that, for our viewers that don't know Joe, the thing I'll tell you is he lives that out. If you follow him on Twitter or, if you follow the Broncos on Twitter, Joe is somebody who is always out in the community doing everything he can to be a role model, to serve, to help, to do all kinds of things like that. He's a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal football player. But as a person, to have a person like that on your team, that's huge, okay? And so I'm really proud of Joe, and I can't say enough about him positive. So thanks again, Joe, for coming on. We'll have him on soon on Testimony Tuesday to kind of give his story of faith. But we're going to go ahead and do our trivia winner and our next trivia question. So I'm going to kick it over to KLTS Sports Talk, our man Franklin.
Hey guys, last week our first trivia question was, in 1990, which Chicago Cub was intentionally walked a record 5 times during a game, and who was the opposing team's manager? The correct answer is Andre Dawson, and the opposing team's manager was Lou Piniella. The winner of our first trivia question is Golden Hall of Fame. Congrats, and you'll be contacted via DM on Twitter.
And again, with the trivia questions, we will take our winners, we'll put them in a drawing. I have a pretty cool prize lined up that I want to make sure is going to happen before we announce it. So again, winners, your name will be in the hat for a drawing, and congratulations. And here's this week's question, which is more appropriate to me, I think, with the topic. I'm excited about it. So
hey guys, back again for another trivia question. This week we are going to go with a football related question. It is another 2-part question, so good luck. How many total points did the 2001 Miami Hurricanes score And who led the team in total receptions? Good luck.
All right, we thank you, Franklin, and we thank you, the guys at KLTS Sports Talk, for giving us those trivia questions, being a part of our program. Tonight we'll finish off with what is going to be our next matchup in the Ultimate Tournament of Storytime. After the show, it will be released, the 15 seed lost Bald Guy of the Year. Okay, I won Bald Guy of the Year. I'm gonna tell that story. You can check it out in another video. But our next matchup that I will release the voting for tonight, and it'll be told on Sunday. The loser will be told on Sunday. Is probably one of the most controversial of my stories. All right, the number 2 seed is, and the number 15 seed is probably one of the stories that means the most to me, and something that I could probably have my own channel on just talking about it. So the number 2 seed in the Cooney bracket, I invented U-hands. Okay, that's one of my stories, and it's controversial. There's a lot of dispute over it, and it's something that I haven't argued until now. Okay, and then the other one is Carlisle, which is my hometown. Just Carlisle being a player and coach, and there's so much I could talk about with that. I look forward to telling some of that story. So that matchup will be on Twitter. You'll be able to start voting on it right now, and I think our next episode is going to be Testimony Tuesday coming up this week. Looking forward to that. We'll have a Wrestling Wednesday. Tonight's Money in the Bank on WWE Network, if you can check it out. Also, The Undertaker's Last Ride. I'm as excited about that as I am the pay-per-view. But most importantly, today's Mother's Day. And my wife is one of the best moms on the planet. My mom's one of the best moms on the planet. I'm very blessed in that area. To all the moms out there, whether you, whether I have worked with you because I've coached your kid or taught your kid or anything like that, I put it on my Facebook post today. 15 years of coaching, believe it or not, and teaching, and having coached at Carlisle and Westland Junior High and at Plano High School and now at Plainfield East. Just some phenomenal parents that have been a part of their kids' lives and done the best for them that they could. So I want to wish you all a happy Mother's Day and enjoy your night. I hope this word was useful for you. Remember that you can email us at mywifeputtheboystobed@gmail.com if you have any prayer requests, and we're here for you. Okay, so we look forward to seeing you on Testimony Tuesday, and if not right after this, shortly after, the story of me being Bald Guy of the Year will be told. We've had some technical difficulties uploading it, but hopefully it loads tonight. All right, thanks guys, appreciate you. Peace.